Welcome to Doughboys Double. I'm Nick Weiger along with the Spoon Man, Mike Mitchell. Mitch, holding up 2 pills here on the video feed on Doughboys Double. You've got your last 2 supplements of the day.
My version of the Matrix. Yellow pill or brown pill. Piss pill or shit pill.
And you're going to take both?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take both.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would you rather, if you had to pick one, would you be piss pilled or shit pilled?
What?
I think I'd be piss pilled.
I think it'd be piss pilled too.
Shit pill. Well, it depends then if they're like, oh, you would have had easy shits forever. Then I'd be like, shit, I should have chosen the shit pill. And then it's like, I don't know what the pills do.
In my mind, it's like the one you get one body function from here on out.
You get to get one removed.
Yeah. So piss pill is like you only piss. Shit pill is like you only shit.
Does that mean you're perpetually constipated, or you just never need to shit again?
That's the whole thing, and that might be part of like the calculation. Like, does it actually have any? Because if you couldn't shit or you couldn't piss, you would
both
die
of them then
of
are
renal
hell.
failure.
I thought it was more metaphorical. Like you live in a piss world.
Yeah, or piss matrix or shit matrix.
Yeah,
They sound like they both suck a little bit.
They're both bad,
but they're both. But I think they kind of suggest different things.
Yeah, is one is kind of maybe bland and unpleasant, and one is like actively like just awful. Yeah,
yeah, but maybe more exciting,
but maybe more fun, right?
It sounds sterile, so I guess I would rather live in a sterile world than a shit world.
Oh, I'd pick the shit pill.
Piss planet versus shit, or shit planet. Piss pill versus a shit pill. That's basically Biden versus Trump. Yeah. It's like just the boring bad world or the like kind of fun but worse world.
We weren't going to get political this year. Yeah. You told me. Because we have an election coming up.
No, we said we weren't going to talk about cum this year.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. That's
what it was.
That's what it was. Mitch, I got to give a quick.
Well, we're voting for very different candidates. You and I.
Yeah.
So
cum.
So which I don't want to say who's voting for who, but we're voting for different candidates.
Where one of us is voting for RFK Jr.
and the other one's voting for Trump.
Yeah.
I'm Evan Susser, the commissioner. I'm here too. Today we're talking about KFC Saucy Nugget Dispensary experience.
That's right. Susser is here.
Sus, don't make it sound so fun.
Yeah, don't make it sound like the time of our lives we all
our
had.
Collective lives.
Yeah. I got to give a quick shout out to Anya, the wire queen, who fixed my microphone because we're in this different configuration. We've got all 5 of us in here. That's right. Emma's here. Amelia's here. Susser's here. Everyone is here.
Casey's here. He's over there.
Casey's over here too.
Yeah.
Hi, Casey.
Hey.
Casey's over at the producer's desk. I want to talk
that
about
war song, Over There. You know that song?
Over there. Over there.
Something over there.
War One, maybe, and I think it's maybe in Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Oh, that's
maybe
fun.
I'm wrong.
You're saying
Casey, you film nut? Do you know?
I'm not. I don't know.
Oh,
Sorry.
It's in Yankee Doodle Dandy, the movie. Got it.
The red. Oh, sorry.
What happened?
The red light stopped for a second.
The
so
red
I
light
wasn't
stopped
sure.
for a
that
second.
just means that's the active camera.
It's switching.
Right.
Amelia,
Sorry,
what the hell?
Okay, wait. What if there was a cum pill?
I'd take that
Sorry
one.
to go back to this.
No, that was
pill.
necessary.
I like
necessary revisit.
Mitch took that earlier today.
Yeah.
That was with lunch.
Wives, we're
Anyway.
all here.
Yeah.
The crew is all here.
Everyone is here.
We had a work outing.
We sure did. And it was work, baby. But we also had fun. Before we get to that, I do want to check in a few different things. First off, Commissioner, your first visit back on the podcast, post-Tournament of Champions.
Yes.
How are you feeling? And just like any thoughts on the podcast at large, not to get ahead of your general year-end statement.
I think the podcast is better than it's ever been.
Wow.
Not too much of a compliment. But I thought the tournament, it was thrilling.
Yeah, it was.
To take back power. I thought that
No one has seen Koalik since.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
He's been missing.
He's still running, screaming.
He's gone, but he's not missing. No one's missing him.
Yeah.
That was mean. He was a good sport. He did a good job.
Yeah.
Stay in kayfabe.
You know what happened to Koalik? I think he took the cum pill.
I think he took the cheese pill.
Which makes him come.
I'm doing well.
Gouda.
I brought some kosher for Passover black and white cookies.
Wow.
If anybody wants to have them, they're really bad.
Sign me
They're
up.
kind of gross, but I think the podcast is going well. I don't know. I wasn't prepared to really get into it.
Mitch, they're both black and white, and also they're bad. So they work on 2 levels.
This is my favorite cookie. It's small too, like a child.
I love to have this my favorite cookie with some Jesus juice.
These cookies look like
Jesus
somebody
juice,
sat
apple
on them.
head.
Why is this so
Kids
sweet?
apple head.
My son's name is
I
Applehead.
like 'em.
You like them?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have a little bit of the
You know
chocolate
what?
section.
It's not bad.
I think they're
It's a little
very
dry. Yeah.
and
It's a
very-
dry guy.
I love
Yeah.
black and white cookies, so that is not what I want when I want a black and white cookie, but I probably wouldn't stop eating that
Not
at a
bad.
party.
It's not bad. I'd probably give it a soft snack or a soft whack. It's kind of in the
Yeah.
mushy middle. The thing we
Mushy
tasted on the
middle,
episode we
yeah.
recorded before this, before this is we tasted Kit Kat varietals, and those were all awful. So
Way
this is
better,
so much
way better than
Kit
Kit
Kats.
Kat varietals.
Oh,
All
really?
right.
Mhm.
Yeah, way better.
Wow.
Interesting.
The chocolate side is pretty good, honestly.
I had the vanilla side, also pretty good.
I
Where did
think
Jemmy go?
all around pretty decent.
Demi's so
Demi's
settled
behind
in
me.
behind Amelia. She will not give up her seat.
Oh, that's cute.
So she's just like chilling.
Wags, Sus kind of was teaching me about. I've gone to a kosher supermarket with Sus before.
Yeah, that's right.
I think four
Doughboys.
Doughboys.
I think it was a episode with Becky Feldman.
Oh,
wow.
right. And it was a cool experience. I'd never been in one
Yeah.
before, and then Sus was kind of re-explaining to me what it was basically yesterday. He was giving me the rundown.
Me and Mitch had a great little day yesterday.
It was great.
We went for a walk.
Oh,
We went to his famous fruit guy.
fun.
Ah.
He got some fruit for my daughter
Mhm.
to send home with her. And then him and my daughter afterwards were like texting back like each other videos, which it got
That's
a little
cute.
it was a little much at a certain point.
Isn't your daughter like 4?
Okay.
You're texting with a 4-year-old?
First of all, you're making me seem weird.
I text with my nephews. I get it.
She sent me a video thanking me for the fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she made it funny, and then I said, "Thank you so much. This is Uncle Mitch. Thank you so much. I appreciate it." And one last thing I want to say is like, because that's what she
That
made
she
that
did,
noise
yeah.
to me.
That's really funny.
And then she sent a meme-emoji of herself to me, and she was a poop thing.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a lady first. It was like
Yeah,
a
it's
purple lady.
And then you sent back
One is a pig.
One is a pig. Appropriate.
And I said, hey, like appropriate. I was like, hey, your teeth fell out, like the tooth fairy's gonna come. And then she sent one as a poop. And Sus was like, you don't have to respond to this
yeah,
one.
it was getting to be a bit much.
I wasn't going to. I was basically in the meantime, I was dealing with business. As you know, there was business going on.
Yeah.
Mitch does business.
Vicious business. Is that what you call it?
But we had a great day.
We had a great day. I'll tell you this much. Fruit guy is fantastic.
Love a
He
fruit
is
guy.
great.
Mhm.
Yes,
know-
and you get to visit my fruit guy.
Do you want to shout out a fruit guy?
Victor, he's great.
Yeah.
You know what? It got me so jazzed about fruit that I went for a walk today by the reservoir, and there was a fruit guy there, and I hit his fruit. Not as good as your fruit guy.
Ooh.
Victor's the king. I'm telling you, Victor is great.
Do you think Victor would come on the pod?
No, I don't think he would. But we could have his fruit on the pod.
That'd be
Mhm.
fun.
That'd be
I think
fun.
he would just be baffled by what it is, and then be like, "I don't want to do that."
Yeah.
Like I don't think he would.
Smart man.
Yeah, I don't think he would.
I think he's still mad about you eating his birthday pineapple.
Mm.
That was insane.
Huh?
Hold on a second. I did nothing wrong in that scenario. I went to him and I was like, "Can I get mango and pineapple?" That's what I get. And then he puts a little tahini on there, chamoy, covers it in lime juice.
Yeah.
Delish.
He said, I got no pineapple. I said, oh, that's okay. He's like, oh, hold on. He went to the back. He brings out a pineapple and he starts coming. He says, it's my birthday today. It's a birthday pineapple. And I was like, I don't want to take your birthday pineapple.
He was saving it for himself as a little treat.
Someone gave it to him as a treat. Let me tell you, it was really good. The pineapple was fantastic. I gave him like a $50 tip for real. I felt so bad. I said,
That's nice.
happy birthday. I didn't
lovely
mean to
gesture.
take his pineapple.
It feels like a weird gift to get the
fruit
fruit
guy.
man a pineapple
Yeah.
for his
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah, that's like if someone
It's
gave me
like
a
little-
Doughboys t-shirt
Yeah.
for my
Yeah,
birthday.
it's a little odd, but
Yeah.
Gave you a microphone.
Yeah.
Cool, thanks.
My mom gave me a microphone for Christmas this year.
Aw,
Did you really?
Cute.
She's like, you can use it like in a setup in like
At home?
in my hallway or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
it was good for that reason.
What kind of microphone?
I don't know. It was actually kind of, I feel like, a decent microphone. I'll tell
me
you the
know
name
what
of
it
it.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Shure?
No, I wasn't sure. Sure.
Well, he was
Boy.
already cutting up the pineapple by the time you found out it was birthday pineapple. So,
Yeah, I
I
think so.
oh, Mitch.
Look, I said no multiple times,
Yeah.
whatever it was, and he made me perfect birthday pineapple. Victor and I get along great.
Do you think he was
This
saving
guy's-
it so when he got his dick sucked for his birthday, his cum tasted good?
Does it work that fast?
For when he got his dick sucked for his birthday?
Birthday,
Birthday
come on.
sex. Come on.
Gonna get some top.
Dear Lord.
You don't go get your birthday blowjob every year?
That's the last thing I want on my birthday. I want a big, well, not the last thing I want.
All right.
I'm not thinking about that for my birthday.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Don't make me seem like
All right, we won't get it. We don't need to get into it.
I
This
like
is
to
an uncomfortable
fucking suck
discussion.
as much as the next man
I don't believe
or
you.
lady.
I don't
Prove it.
believe you.
Oh, trust me.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I know. Amelia, I want to ask you about the eclipse. You traveled for the eclipse. We talked about this on the podcast. I'm not sure if the episode is out yet. It probably will be out by the time this episode is out. But like you made a sojourn, as did you, Emma. But Amelia, yours was pointed towards witnessing the eclipse in all of its glory.
Sort of.
Yes.
I went home for Easter to see family. My friends in New York were like, "Hey, since you're gonna be home, we have. Do you want to join us for this cabin trip upstate in Wilmington, New York, which was in the path of totality?" So I was like, "Hell yeah!" Drove up. The second I get there, like 5-hour trip. The second I get there, I got sick.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
no.
I caught a stomach bug from
Oh,
my
no.
niece.
that sucks.
I spent the entire trip just blowing chunks.
Oh man.
And except Eclipse
Lord.
Day, I was miraculously better. So I got to see the eclipse in totality. It was so beautiful. I cried. It was surreal, magical moment.
Very cool.
And then I got sick again. So, but it was a great experience. And yeah,
So you were in the clear for the actual eclipse.
exactly, I was perfectly fine for the eclipse. So if you have an opportunity to see the eclipse, or in totality, I highly recommend.
Yeah.
I think
Hey.
the next one is 2044, so both Doughboys will be dead. But if
Oh,
anyone
shit.
is still around, check it out.
You should check it out. There will be some people who are around when that happens.
20 years.
When is it? 20 years?
Yeah, 44, 2044.
When you're listening to this episode in the Museum of Podcasting in 2043, you'll
Go
say,
ho-
"Oh,
Hologram Susser is like your tour guide.
come right this way." Past the Jordan Jesse Go wing.
Pretty good. I want to hear more.
The Adam Carolla wing before he got weird.
It was almost more of a radio show before it got weird. So Chunk from the Goonie on his birthday, blowing chunk's not a bad thing, but any other time, not good.
He's gonna eat a bunch of pineapple in anticipation. Emma, you also went out east for a bit, and
did.
we had a few Doughboys records we stacked in a row where we were flying solo. It was a little bit chaotic.
I
Casey-
was
survived. I'm
making
proud of
fun of
you.
you guys for traveling for the eclipse. It turns out just one of you was
just
traveling
Amelia was
for the
doing it
eclipse.
specifically.
Yeah, I went to see my best friend from childhood had a baby at the end of December. So we've got a little new baby in the fam. So I was going to see the baby, and they happened to live in the path of totality. But my
Wow.
trip home was planned because they were going to be in Maine. It was a whole thing.
Eclipse
But I
baby.
ended up getting to see the eclipse in totality by accident, which was a fun accident.
The baby will be the next eclipse. The baby will be 24.
I kept
24?
saying that to him. He definitely did not understand what I was saying. He was like, "The fuck is this lady saying to me? I'm
Yeah.
trying to nap on my mama." But I was like, "We're going to watch the next one together and you're going to be 20. You still won't be able to drink, but it's okay."
Come on,
So
they can
I'm
have
gonna-
one for the.
Yeah, well, for
that why not?
Auntie Emma will give them a beer.
sure.
Probably well before they're 20, but
Yeah.
just kidding, Mom. I would never.
Sus
It
and I-
was magical.
I want to say, well, first of all, I saw the eclipse outside of Headgum. And
Yeah, I saw it too. Anya made us look.
We looked through. We go.
You
The
look
Wire Queen.
Directly at the sun, no glasses or anything.
Yeah.
I looked through the thing and I saw like, oh, part of the sun is blocked. I was like, cool, and then I went inside. But it was not great here.
No,
could barely
you did not
notice.
see much. They barely touched, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but the thing that was cool was seeing how the shadows were occluded by the
Yes.
eclipse. Like that was the part. I was like, oh, that's an interesting sort
neat.
of natural phenomenon.
We were also where we were watching it was like way up in Vermont, in Moortown, Vermont, middle of nowhere. But it the we were like in the woods, and all of nature around us went completely silent during the eclipse. Like all the birds stopped chirping. It was like eerily silent for like 2 minutes. That is what they say. This is going to sound so nuts, and I'm so sorry for what I'm about to say. But when I watch stories about people who think they've encountered Bigfoots, that's what they say happens right before they encounter the Bigfoot. Is all nature around them go silent. Yeah. Spooky.
Yeah, that happened where I was too.
Then a man walks by in a hoodie and a Celtics hat.
Yeah. I was like, guys.
I was about to say nature gets pretty quiet when I go into the woods, but you beat me to it.
I was looking for you. I thought maybe you were there, but you guys were actually recording in the middle of the eclipse.
I'd rode my bike to work, which I am still gonna do. I didn't do it a couple days in a row.
You were being great about it.
Yeah,
I love that for you.
I'm bringing it back.
Is that your bike out right here?
No.
Oh.
Someone else rode their bike today.
Someone else rode their bike today.
We also moved the record up earlier at the last minute because of guests today.
Yeah.
So yes. You didn't have the time you normally have.
It's coming back.
It's great that you've been doing it.
It's coming back. But I came down and it was like the last minute of the Jemmy.
I'm just gonna.
Jemmy is switching positions.
There you go, good girl.
It's cute when animals get moved. It's cute.
It is cute.
Sus and I had the great day didn't stop there. You know what's back, Wags? We had a nice lunch at Little Dom's.
Little Dom's is back.
You know what we had? This is why I brought it up.
Yeah.
We had a nice grilled artichoke.
Ooh. Oh, that's fun.
Mm-hmm. A great grilled artichoke. And
you know what? You get like a little aioli to dip?
Lady the Tramp style?
Yeah.
Cute.
You know what? No aioli dip.
Wow.
And you know what? Still fantastic.
What were you dipping it in?
Smothered in butter.
Just smothered in butter.
Was it butter? I thought it was olive oil.
Oh, maybe olive oil.
I know
so
butter.
fun.
Butter is like the artichoke heart. That is the artichoke thing. You like dip it in butter or bacon butter.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, that rocks.
We squeezed some lemon on there, grilled lemon.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was great.
Wow.
Anyway, what wasn't as great, but we should give a shout out to who we got invited by.
Yeah, so we should give a shout out to Natalie, who invited us to the KFC Saucy Nuggets Dispensary.
Your wife,
pop-up.
she made an event for us, for you to get out of the house.
No, not my Natalie. This is a different Natalie. And she was lovely, and she was super nice and super gracious as a host. Sent us to this thing in Venice, which is close to where I live, but for everyone else is on completely the opposite side of town. So it was a haul for y'all. I think it took you an hour plus to get over to Venice.
I had a hair appointment that day. I went to my doctor to get needled, to get my scalp needled.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on the west side anyways.
Little pubes touch up while you were there.
Yeah, I want my first pubes. That's what I was trying to get. And the doctor's like, nothing seems to have grown down there.
Seems stunted at age 2.
Something is not right. I was over there. I was like on the west side almost. I was near the Fox lot is where my dermatologist is. So I was like, well, like we got this invite. We don't go to these ever. We've been invited to a few of things like this.
Yeah, but this was like an influencer sort of event, and we get invited to these on occasion, not as much as like a big TikToker or whatever. I think podcasting for whatever reason doesn't quite. I think it's just easier for someone who's in marketing to visualize. Okay, you're going to make this into a TikTok. You're going to make this into an Instagram post, as opposed to you're going to talk about this on a podcast 8 weeks later, which is what we're doing.
Here's a crazy inverse. I was there first.
You sure were.
I was there early.
No, not quite.
I was there before you.
But you didn't cross the street.
Wow.
Ooh, caught on a technicality.
You refused to cross the street until I was there at the event first.
Well, first of all, do you want me to get into that?
Yeah, I can get into it.
You called me and said, I'm by Salt and Straw. I said, oh, great. I said, walk down towards me. I'll be waiting on this side of the street. You said, okay. And then you called back and you're like, where is this place? And I was like, I don't know. The directions were sent to us, and you went, "Oh, I was walking the wrong way." So you walked the wrong way for many blocks,
and
then you crossed the street. The thing, because I wanted to say like across the street from, I want to be like, "Look at this fucking thing." We're gonna get it. I wanted to say that before we went into it.
Yes,
across the street perspective.
I saw it, and I texted you guys, "Everyone go home." Was what I said.
I have to turn the car around.
Just leaving when you texted that.
I have the text right here. So this is on Venice's Abbot Kinney Boulevard, which is named for Abbot Kinney the man who built the city of Venice, California, modeled after Venice, Italy.
Wow.
Yeah, and it is a stretch of Abbot Kinney Boulevard is the stretch of beachy shops that used to be cool.
It's the flaked section of town.
It's the flaked section of town.
I told you, Sus and I went on a flaked bus tour before you guys got there.
Yeah, that sounded like a lot of fun.
It was a blast.
Yeah, we saw Jeff Flake.
We saw Jeff Flake.
Yeah.
What else did we see? Abbot Kinney Boulevard. You know the reference. Everyone knows references.
Flake. We've all seen Netflix's Flake starring Will Arnett. What was the name of the character you said? You said something. You said a fake name for him, and we believed you.
Freddie Flake.
It was Freddie Flake.
Flake.
That's what it was. So it was named for Abbot Kinney the Man. It is a stretch of beachy shops that used to be cool and is now it used to be artsy and is now fully gentrified and touristy. The point where when KFC has a pop-up, they're like, let's put it on Abbot Kinney Boulevard because that's where the tourists are going to be. Mitch, here are the texts we sent to the Doughboys thread. Mike Mitchell, I'm here. It looks like a nightmare, lol. We will spend like 15 minutes here. Amelia says, me, Emma, and Mike, our video editor, ETA 310. Mitch, honestly, you should turn the car around.
That's the truth. That was me being honest. Look, was it more fun than I thought? Yeah.
We ended up having a good time.
We had a great time.
It's a tiny space about the size of like a cell phone
Sus
store.
isn't sure about that, but he's,
I mean, we have to be honest brokers here.
Yeah.
This was bad.
The event sucked.
The event sucked, but I had a good time.
We had a good time
Going to
overall.
Venice in general
Yeah.
was nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was good.
So it's a tiny space about the size of a cell phone store. It is set up like a dispensary, and you
Which
go inside.
didn't click for me at least until we had left.
I know. I don't think to any of us. I think when we were, I think maybe outside of it, we're like, oh.
Yeah, Mike said it outside after we walked out of the event, and I went, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, it is. It's supposed to be a weed shop.
Yeah.
I should have
Mitch
gotten
and I
it.
are there
A
first.
head shop, they used to say.
There's a
Yeah.
security guard, and we started walking in. He's like, whoa, you guys, what are you doing? You can't walk in.
There was like a red carpet and like velvet ropes
But we
at
start
the
walking
door.
in, and he's like, oh, no way these guys
are supposed to be
And I
here.
said, we're here for the fat guy influencer event. And he was like,
He did let us in.
he was like, all right.
And he's like, are you guys on the list? We're like, yes, we are on the list. And they did seem concerned that we weren't on the list.
Yeah.
Which, look, I said it about this and later. They offered T-shirts later, which Emma and Weiger are wearing right now.
I'm actually wearing Amelia's because you didn't want to wear it, so I put it on
was
over my.
see-through.
Yeah,
It is a little sheer.
It's a little bit see-through.
It feels like it was in storage for like 10 years.
it's a shitty shirt.
The T-shirt people were cool as hell. I
They were
like
nice.
chocolate. Actually,
The
a
people
lot of
were
the people,
very
a lot of the
nice.
people were great.
Here's what the tragedy is there's no one to blame.
No, there's no one to blame.
The woman who invited
Natalie's great.
That's like great. It's like, oh, this is a fast food like event. Like there's a podcast about chain restaurants. Let's get those guys.
Hell
Makes
yeah.
sense.
That's
I mean, we'll
perfect.
never get invited back again. But yes, you're
Yeah.
right.
Well, I was worried that we were going to trash it too much and that would be the problem. But like if they start the episode, it's like a long discussion of the piss pill and the shit pill and then
Yeah.
the cum pill.
Yeah.
To get
And
through
then
all
talking
that.
about voting for Trump or Robert Kennedy. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that there's plenty. This was
Plenty
but
of
anyway.
disqualifying already.
But
yeah.
so she did a good job. And the people, look, I'll be honest, like I found the whole event creatively and intellectually bankrupt.
Sure,
But but there's no one to blame.
there's no one to
I
blame.
could see myself in another life or maybe this life and maybe next week pitching the exact same idea and being like, all right, well, someone paid me to come up with an idea and this is as good of an idea as any and people were excited about it and feels like subversive and cooling out, but it's horrible.
We should describe what it was.
Yes.
So
We
you
should have
walk
gotten
in.
free weed.
We should have gotten free weed.
Well, wait, I didn't finish my point there.
Please.
There were no bigger shirts than XL.
That's a
Yes.
big problem.
Yes.
So-
for a place for a fast food event,
And they-
XL is where you're maxing out.
They
That's
weren't
insane.
just like out of them because the actual
No.
event was Saturday.
we
we
were-
got the preview
we
of
were
the
there the
event on
first time,
Friday,
so
so they should have had every size possible.
Unless they had the influencer sizes, which were, like
Well, I think that
medium
was
to
it.
XL.
No, I think
yeah.
that this whole event, the idea was to expand the idea of who is interested in KFC. So
Yeah.
not like fat guys. It's like
Right.
this is for
They
like
already got
cool.
them.
Yeah.
They already have. They already have this.
They do.
They already have this couch. They're going for that couch.
Well, I think as Amelia I may have pointed out, I can't remember who made this point. There is I think a tendency with fast food brands to run away from big people, to run away from people of size, and sort of because they
Yeah.
don't want to. They're
We're
worried
chasing
about.
after for their
yeah,
food.
but
Yeah.
also they don't need to run that fast. They could just a brisk walk would be enough.
But they're kind of like that. That's not a thing. That's not the kind of person. That's not the body type they highlight in their marketing, right?
No.
It's like even though that's a lot of their consumers.
They don't want you to know what will happen if you start eating the food.
I mean, I think that I guess that's part of it, but it's the kind of sort of thing of like it just seems like such a miscalculation, such a needless whiff to not have like double XL, triple XL,
absolutely.
include some sizes for some bigger people.
Very
I'll
not
also say
inclusive.
it was not all that. This did not affect us. There were other like people from the influencer set there who were clearly bigger frames, and I was like, these people aren't going to have t-shirts.
There were some
that fit
people
them.
working the event where I was like, you can't even wear your own t-shirt.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which
Well,
seems backwards.
There was a guy who was live streaming or like videotaping it, and that's when I wanted to leave immediately. Like a 50-year-old guy live streaming it, and I was just like, we need to.
There
get
were
out
a
of here.
few people walking around in that. Have you ever seen the Instagram account called Influencers in the Wild?
Mhm.
And it's just like videos of influencers doing insane shit in public places just to get content. And it felt a little like that with some people in their cameras and their phones, just like no awareness of the other people around them, just like camera in your face.
100%.
A little off-putting in a very small space.
It was a small space. That was a part of the issue.
Yes. So, have any of you ever worked at an event like this? Have you ever done a branded thing like this? Because I've done a couple.
I worked at the DC booth in Comic-Con a couple of years ago.
Wow.
Like, maybe
That
like
sounds
3
nuts.
years in a row.
That sounds insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that like?
It's very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's at the Javits Center in
Oh,
New
yeah.
York.
We did a show with the
We did do a
Japanese.
show at the
Really?
Javits Center. Yeah.
It's just talking to people all day. It's overwhelming. But it's a lot of fun, and you get to go to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Casey, I feel like, because I've definitely done stuff like this, I feel like maybe something like this has been in your past. Have you done any sort of like, hey, this is a branded event, I've got to shoot, or I've got to work in some capacity?
I have, but not in like a working for the event. More
Yeah,
like
sure.
I'm going there and I'm shooting something for someone
Some
who's at
ancillary
Shooting the
content
event,
for something
yeah,
else.
yeah.
Got it. Yeah. So the thing this reminded me of two things. One, there were a bunch of Pepsi Next. I can't remember what fucking Pepsi varietal it was that came and went. Where they had a bunch of different ads they were shooting, and the whole Pepsi campaign was based off of like, we're going to have like 500 custom ads that are targeted at an individual person who posted on her Facebook. And so the
Was
idea
the Pepsi Next also the Kardashian ad? Or
I think it was a Kardashian
Isn't
thing.
there
But this
like
was
that-
Kendall Jenner.
Yeah, the Kendall Jenner. Isn't there a
She
weird?
hands the Pepsi to the cops.
That's what it was. Yeah.
That ended the whole movement in 2000. Like
Yeah,
all
that closed
cops
the
are
door
bad.
on it.
Like that was settled.
That was
right?
it. Yeah, it was over.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
They solved it right there. Kendall Jenner, thank God.
But that was just like such a factory. And to what you were saying, Susser, it was like such a thing of just like, we're just churning out as many ads as possible. I was directing like 125 of them or something like that. We shot them all in a weekend, and no one wanted to be there. It was just like, this is for nobody. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants like, hey, this is a Facebook ad that's targeted directly at me. Nobody who's making it wants to be doing it. It just comes from like one marketing guy who's like, this should be a thing. And so then all these thousands of dollars of resources and all this manpower goes
including
into action.
most of all this guy to my right. What we were gonna say? What someone what?
Someone explained to me once in marketing, this is what this is an agency gets hired by a big company like KFC, and they say, here's what we did for, we did a commercial.
Yeah.
We had advertising on like these kind of platforms. We also did some influencer events, and it's one slide, and it's like the KFC like dispensary and 3 other things, and that's it.
Yeah.
This whole event exists to be 4 seconds on a PowerPoint to somene's boss.
Yes,
That's
right.
That's kind of how it felt.
That's all it is. And it's bad.
Yeah.
And it's, like the whole, marijuana part of it. It's like,
Feels wrong.
well, right. It's
I
like
I made this point
Yeah,
that
we're,
it's
like,
a weird
really
thing
shitty.
of someone who is
dispensaries in general. It's like there are still people like incarcerated for
Yes.
marijuana offenses, and now like it's weird
brought
enough.
this point up.
Yeah, okay. You want
You're stealing my point.
I'm gonna say it better.
Check out the last
No,
Prisoner
you're
Project.
saying the same exact thing.
Okay, you say it.
There's people who are still incarcerated
Yes.
for offenses
Yes.
like 3 strikes rules over marijuana, selling marijuana, possession of marijuana.
Yeah.
And then this is the cute white version of it.
Right.
Of like, look at us, we're cute, and we have a dispensary.
In this
And
cute,
that
white,
doesn't-
hyper-gentrified neighborhood.
Yeah, and that doesn't sit well with me.
I agree.
There's a
Yeah.
weird part of it.
Check out the Last Prisoner Project. They're trying to get people out of jail who are in jail for weed, for exactly that.
Hell yeah.
So I'll spend some time there.
Yes.
Fucking point stealer.
The other thing
This isn't at midnight. You can't just steal points.
have you seen the show?
Midnight.
The other thing this reminded me of, I worked this Audi event. This was actually booked through Upright Citizens Brigade, and this was at the Santa Monica airport. Audi had rented out an airport hangar.
Wow.
And the whole it was all being live streamed. So there was a lot of guys like that, like going around with cameras and GoPros. And it was all like Audi employees who were at this thing. And I don't remember what it was called, but it was about being in the moment or some shit. Anyway, it was me and like 7 other UCB performers. So like, Judah Fonzo Marks, Mary Holland, Neil Campbell. Like, I can't remember the full roster, but it was a bunch of like people who
good, funny people.
Yeah, exactly. And we were there to do 2 improv sets of about 30 minutes apiece. While we were doing these improv sets with headsets, also the improv was hosted by Nikki Glazer, who they hired specifically to, and then she had 2 writers who were hired to write her copy to introduce the improvisers and to host the event. Then they had like skateboarders on ramps and like graffiti artists who were like doing tagging for Audi.
Sounds like it's going to be a couple good sets.
And like a DJ. All this stuff was happening at once. It was all contemporaneous.
You're supposed to do
while we're
improv.
doing improv, and we're doing improv for like 40 like Audi employees with cocktails who are in the Santa Monica airport hangar. It's completely stupid. It's a total waste of everyone's money and time.
Unhinged.
It was so dumb. Here's how insane these events are, though. For this event, each individual one of us, like 8 improvisers, was paid $1,500. And
Cars have money.
that is after, that's the thing, brands have money, and that is after we were paid through UCB. So, UCB was paid like $50,000, and then they skimmed all that off the top and then gave us the crumbs that were left. And the crumbs were still substantial enough for us to be like, all right, sure, I'll do this shit. It was insane. It was a complete like waste of so much money and so much time. And that's the kind of thing this felt like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just going to say this. We walked in the door, and there's a guy right at the front who's like, we're going to go over all these nugget type stuff.
You like a bud tender, yeah.
A bud tender, and immediately
bud tender.
Sus is like, okay, what's the deal? He's trying to get this guy to break character within 10 seconds.
I truly did not know what it would be. Because, look, this could have been a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that this was going to be the kind of thing where they'd have some light theming, but you'd be eating a lot of chicken nuggets, and maybe there'd be like an open bar, and also like these kind of like influencer can be like a really broad term, and it could just like I'm like, oh, maybe like Gabrus or like other people we know will like be there, because who knows who gets invited to these kind of things.
Yeah,
Gabrus would have been a natural fit because there's also a 420 thing.
Yes,
Keep going.
exactly. So I was like, oh, maybe it'll be like a cool hangout, eat a lot of chicken nuggets, and maybe they'll have some like theming or whatever. But we walk in, and I mean, it's like basically like a Tony and Tina's wedding where people are like in character, which I'll say I like that kind of thing.
I love it.
I love like,
You wanted immediately you wanted the guy to break character. You're like, what's your real name?
But I was so not surprised by that. I was so surprised by that. I'm like, oh, it's like this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he's like talking about like the different flavors. So I did. I was like, wait, do you work for KFC? Or like,
right.
do you work
or do
for
you
like
work
an
for the
ad
brand?
agency? Like,
Right.
This guy was trying to ignore you too.
Yeah, he was trying to ignore. But because also we are actually interested in food.
Sure.
So I would kind of be interested in what actually are
what's in this sauce?
We should describe what happens when you first walk in.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you walk in and
it's a front counter.
Yeah, it's a front counter that has each flavor of the new saucy nugget inside
one single nugget.
One single nugget inside of a plastic cube container, and there's like a button to press on it, so you squeeze it.
A soft plastic button that you can squeeze.
It pushes the air through it so you can smell it. This is the thing at dispensaries, so you can smell the weed. And then they have a magnifying glass on top so you can see
inspect it.
So instead of weed, it was chicken nuggies. I should have realized the dispensary.
I mean, it all made sense.
Yeah.
Like I get what they're trying to do.
I find that kind of revolting. Something
I also
about like
found
food.
it kind of gross.
It was gross to smell the sauces.
Also
They smelled gross.
people who were in there already, I'm like, okay, so these other 10, 15 people have picked this up and like sniffed it, and it just feels, which is weird because I do this with weed at dispensaries and it doesn't gross me out, but there's something about the food aspect that really made me go, oh, this is weird.
Well, so it's broken down to each sauce has a station. So there's a person there at each station, and you can smell it and look at it under the magnifying glass, even though who cares?
Do you remember what the name? Because they were Saucy Nuggets experts, but they had some name. It was Sauceperts. That's what it was. Thank you, Emma. There were Sauceperts at each station.
Are you sure you didn't do punch up for this event?
Truly,
if I came up with Saucepert,
I would be like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, sure, yeah, Saucepert.
And they would have and someone would have written back like, oh, you nailed it with Saucepert. I would have been like,
but at the same time, you describe it as creatively bankrupt.
It would have been a list of. Here's the thing: it would have been a list of like 30 options, and it would have been like your 10th favorite, and it would have been the one they picked, and then they printing up.
Can I tell you what mine would have been? Sauce Malier.
Sauce Malier is really good.
Is very good.
I was thinking saucier, like because that's an actual thing.
That confuses it because that's like a wine thing.
Yeah, do people know?
Don't give me fucking network notes.
Is?
You could do the
brand notes.
A beer sommelier is a Cicerone.
Yeah,
we don't want to make it. Well, we're trying to confuse. It's confusing it because we're trying to have a connection to weed, not beer or wine, I think the consumer is going to be befuddled.
So
That's the sort of
Saucepert-
shit you're dealing with. So Saucepert is what you land on by default. It
Saucier
was
is
fine.
good because that is like a person who is professionally
Yes.
there to make sauce.
Saucier is a
like,
real thing.
Saucier would have been perfect.
Anyway, every one of these stations, 5 different stations, they are all actors.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
But again, not like clear
not
initially.
clear because it seems like they could be food people. They could
They
be
say
from
they're
KFC's brand.
Sauceperts.
There's presented as Sauceperts. So they're actors who have this copy that they kind of like make their own to sort of take you through the journey of like, here's the Georgia Gold sauce. And like the Georgia Gold sauce, think of like eating the most delicious peach you've ever had.
And-
now imagine if that peach was like a tasty
Sauce.
chicken
Is that
nugget.
how they
and was coming-
described it to you? Because I did not get that.
Yeah,
No,
we
It
need
was-
them.
it wasn't
But
that. I'm
they
just
were
ripping
doing,
something
and
out,
look,
but it's
they
like
were all of the
they were all
actors
doing
were
great.
They were
I like
committing
that.
because like there's no way to be like, yeah, here's like, if they're like phoning it in, and it's like what that like it wouldn't be appealing either.
they're all trying to get hired again too.
right,
so.
and they're also like they're doing their best, and
Yeah.
they're like, this is what the assignment is. They're doing the assignment, but also like it was so grating and like unappealing.
Well, and
to,
each like they had like different stations for each sauce, and they had like the what I assume was the ingredients of the sauce. Like there'd be like a jar of peppercorns and like other stuff, but they like didn't use
didn't
any of that or
yeah.
talk about it. It was just there to stare at.
It was
I
just
guess.
part of the stage picture, but it
Yeah.
was well dressed. I mean, like I understood what they were doing,
Yeah,
and
for
I
sure.
did. I listened to all their pitches and was just sort of like, oh, okay,
They're
just
all
kind of
nice.
in on it. They were all very nice. I talked to each of them individually afterwards. We have all their names.
The
Yeah, we
first
have their
guy
names
written
if
down.
we want to give them a shout out.
No,
Yeah, let
do
me-
we wait? Hold on. Do we? Because okay, yeah, we'll give
No, go for it.
Well, one of them at the very end, one of the guys, and we shouldn't say who, pulled us aside and he kind of like broke kayfabe.
Broke character and
And he
yeah.
was like, "Hey, like I'm a big fan of Doughboys and Birthday Boys."
Yeah. It was
And
fun.
I
He
was
said
like,
this to you. I had left already.
He was like, "I do like Second City. We all do like Second City."
Yeah.
And I was like,
It made
okay,
sense.
It made sense.
Yeah, because they're all
Um,
they all have to be
He
improvisers.
was great.
They
We
all-
saw him after this thing
were all
too.
great.
He was
They
a
were
good
all
guy.
nice.
They were all good
people-
actors.
The
Yeah.
people there were fantastic. I have no issue with them. They were all very nice people.
Amelia handed over her phone. The actors were Sam, Josh, Naria, Demi, and Rama, and then Jen was at the station
Yes.
where she was dispensing, where you'd actually get the
nugs.
food.
yeah.
Yeah, you got one of each nugget on a little platter, and then you decided which one you liked the best, and then you
Yeah.
got a cup of those nuggets.
You sort of went around the world to learn the sauce, learn what the sauces were, hear the pitch, sniff them, and then
Hold
you
on
go
a
to the
second.
back.
I gotta 1 second. I gotta
Yeah.
interject because Weiger also said to Jen, she said, "I'm an actor," and
Yeah.
Wag said, "Oh, that's cool. He's an actor too." About me.
Yes.
And she was like, "Oh, cool." And she was like, "What are you like, an improv actor?" It was very much like I don't know what type of actor
Like-
this
Yeah,
fucking
like
guy
Second
is.
like
Second
school
City.
plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, she was trying to make. She was like, "You don't do any real acting."
I didn't think she was being dismissive or anything.
No,
I
she
think
was very
yeah,
nice. They were.
Yeah.
She was very nice.
You could have, you were being modest. You could have been like, Netflix's Love, Twisted Metal. You
Sure.
didn't shout out any of your credits. I also could have done that for you.
Well, look,
don't carry your
that guy,
resume
the
around?
first guy was a fan of Birthday Boys, and then the T-shirt people knew me too. So that's
Yeah.
sus heard him talking when I left
Yeah.
the room, which was nice.
That is nice.
So there's a tasting bar in the back where Jen was manning it, where you get a sampler platter of each nug. So you get to taste. Well, you have one of each nug, and then
Yeah.
you're like, commit to one, which is your favorite, and you are going to get a full order of one sauce,
Yeah,
Little
you get
cup
a
of
little
nugs.
a little
flight.
cup of like
Yeah.
4 to 6 nuggets,
flight of
Yeah.
nugs.
a flight of nugs. Yes,
Start
you
with
get a
a
flight,
flight. Yeah.
and then commit to one. I ended up going with the Nashville Hot. What were the sauces everyone went with?
I also went with Nashville Hot.
Yeah.
Mike and I shared one.
Yeah.
I got Georgia Gold, which I
Yeah.
stick by as being the best flavor.
That was good.
I like the Nashville
I
Hot.
got
Georgia
the
Gold was number
sriracha,
2.
the honey sriracha.
Honey sriracha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't end up getting one.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's right.
Amelia didn't end up, which made
I wasn't.
sense.
You didn't need to.
Yeah, I was satisfied with the flight.
But they were
Yeah.
having trouble managing. This is, I don't know, the food management, which you like. I wouldn't think they had a hard time, like always having like nuggets available.
Yeah.
For like when
So
you
a bottlenecked at the
a
front.
bottleneck.
Yeah, I was curious about this because, like, when we were they had a little patio in the back where you could sit and like enjoy your nugs and take pics or whatever. And the food was coming from that behind the curtain that was behind the patio. So I wonder if this space they were using was not a restaurant space.
It's
clearly,
definitely not.
No,
Yeah.
no
So
way.
they were just like using travel cooking, and I've never done these corporate style events, but I used to do like food events in Boston with the restaurants that I worked with, like Taste of Boston and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And you are super limited. What you can't bring a fry. They don't have. There's no way they had a fryer there,
No.
so these nuggets were not fried, or they
No.
were fried somewhere else and then reheated there, which
Yeah,
probably
maybe
is why
that.
they weren't super crispy.
Maybe they had an air fryer
but
or
like,
something.
or yeah, maybe something like that. But like, I think at KFC they fry them. No.
Yes, I think they're deep fried.
I think they're deep fried. Yeah.
I think that it's possible they were deep fried remotely and reheated. It's also possible that they had like a truck in the back or
Maybe.
something.
I thought I saw
I don't
like
know.
like something that kind of looked like a fryer.
Okay, so maybe they
but
did
I don't
have
know
it.
I don't know what the situation.
It felt
was.
like it was like kind of outside. So I was like,
Yeah.
this is a very makeshift kitchen.
It was behind. It was very a Wizard of Oz thing. It was behind a curtain.
Yeah.
But look, and there was Pepsi. There was a fridge of Pepsi you could take of any
And
the Diet
Starry.
Pepsi.
That
and
I
Starry.
loved. They had like all the Pepsi products, and those were free to go in this
No
little patio
dew,
area,
though.
which was very small.
Oh, there was a maybe regular dew.
They did have dew, yeah.
How much did you talk about the actual nugs on the?
We talked about them a fair amount on the
Okay.
John and Claudia episode.
There's
we can
also-
get into it for a
There's
second.
also that issue that like you would think that this is like the best possible way to experience them because like
Right.
this is their event to try them,
Yeah.
and like they were soggy, they weren't crispy. It kind of put like, okay, you need a fork to have these.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they gave
But
wet
they didn't
naps, but
give
like it
forks.
was, yeah,
It was all finger food.
So I like felt like I never need to have them again.
I agree. Yeah.
the crispiness goes away when they're. Well, like I said, they're
Conceptually
they're conceptually flawed,
Yeah.
inherently flawed.
and there wasn't, and also, and this is maybe there weren't enough of them too.
There weren't enough.
So yeah.
No, this is a big thing because we went the day before, and this was just for quote unquote influencers.
Mhm.
So this was the
It was
next
the
day.
media launch.
This was the media launch. The next
What's
day
he
was
doing?
going to be 420
The hell is he
officially,
doing?
and Sus is retrieving something. All right, Sus has some saucy nuggets.
Just pulled them out from
Pulled
out we got one.
underneath the couch.
Oh, they're so cold. They're cold to the touch.
Which
Were they in the
flavor is that?
fridge? Oh, they were in the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, besides these,
they're
I don't
from
need to
our-
have anymore.
They're
Yeah.
from our lunch 4 hours ago.
They were in the fridge too.
The issue is like they had a limited population, that a controlled group that was going to be there for this day. The next day it was going to be open to the public, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is going to be a fucking
I
clusterfuck.
cannot imagine.
There's no way
what
they're
that
going to turn
was
out
gonna
enough
look
nuggets.
Like.
Yeah.
Like it felt crowded in there with just this like controlled launch thing. So it open to the public sounds like my nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truly.
It does. It did not seem like it would be good.
So we had a lot of trouble getting more nuggets, which brings us to this. So Natalie is back there. Natalie introduced us to someone from KFC, whose
Yes.
name I won't disclose. This person from KFC was very nice,
Very kind.
but I think was just kind of generally baffled by our presence,
Yeah.
by who we
Who
were,
are you?
and so we're talking to them, and we're just kind of breaking the ice. I think we're having fun. I say something like, "Thanks so much for having us." You know, we're just gonna hang out till you close, or something like that. Just some sort of light thing, and everyone we're kind of laughing. I thought we were on good terms. Then Mitch asks, and I think pretty clearly as a joke, Mitch asks the KFC rep if there's any way we can get some more nuggets. Do you remember exactly how you said it?
I was like, so what's the deal? It's like, it is really just one per person,
Yeah.
like a limit. And like, I was joking.
Everyone laughs except for the KFC rep, who thinks you're serious.
Yes.
And then this puts you back on your heels, and then you have to be like, you had said something like, I don't actually want them. I was joking. Do you remember what I
It was
said?
hard for me to be like, I really don't want any more of these shitty nuggets.
Yeah.
But so I was like, no, I'm just kidding. But then I was also like, and people were like, yeah, right, he's not kidding.
Well,
And
yeah,
I was
because
like,
you was like, no, I'm just kidding.
yeah.
And then I said as a joke, he actually does want them. He's just self-conscious now. And then people laugh at that. Again, she does not react. So now she thinks it's doubly serious. She's like,
Yes.
okay, this guy actually wants nuggets. I got to solve this problem.
She
It's a
asked
huge
me
pain in the
again.
ass.
She asked me again.
Yeah.
She's like, again, I was like, no. And then like, I maybe even did like, but if you could. And then, like, also just confused.
Everything made
things.
it worse.
Yeah.
You know what I think I came to understand, and there was more to this interaction, which we'll talk about. I think she was just one of those civilians who just does not understand bits.
Mhm.
Like if you
yeah.
start
God
joking with
bless
them,
her.
God bless them.
Yeah.
The brain isn't poisoned by irony. But like if you say something to them that is fundamentally a lie to be funny, they're just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Well,
is
speaking
are
of
you-
lying, let's get to the next part of the
Yeah.
interaction.
So
Well, first of all, I convince her that I don't want them. And then
Yes.
she says, hey, well, we got to get you guys some KFC gift cards on the
Oh,
way
Right.
out.
Yeah.
Yes, she says, we got to get you guys some KFC gift cards. The person she's with was like, whoa. Like,
yeah,
really? We can do that?
yeah. And I threw, of course, throughout the Doughboys can't be bought, but we were going to
Right.
take them.
It felt like a flex of her power. She's
Yeah.
like, yes,
Yeah.
you can get some gift cards. No one comes and brings
no
us
one
gift
Never,
cards.
never got the gift
Never
card.
I
mentioned
thought
it.
she meant
Maybe
she was going
she-
to send them to us, but
Maybe
they have
she
not
was just
shown
doing a
up yet.
bit.
Yeah.
That we didn't
Maybe,
get.
yeah, maybe she was being like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll
How do
give
you like
you
that?
guys gift cards.
It's
No.
your own medicine.
The whole time this was happening, I was standing behind Mitch, just eating my Nashville hot nugs, watching the show.
So there's more to this interaction. So this dispensary space, part of the reason they picked it is because it's right next door to an actual marijuana
Yes.
dispensary, MedMen.
Which I thought was going to be part of the
I thought so
thing,
too.
but they were not.
But part of the issue is, just by pure coincidence, the same week this happened, MedMen shut down. That location shut down. And
Oh,
is
I
just
didn't know
closed.
that.
So they were just closed. So
Wait, just that location closed?
just that one.
Oh.
I don't know if citywide they're all still there. It's a small weed chain here.
They're trying to be the Starbucks of weed, I heard.
Exactly. And anyway, we're talking to this KFC rep. We're talking to Natalie, and we're like, oh, then your space is right next to MedMen. And Natalie says something like, yeah, it's a shame it just shut down or whatever. I'm making a joke. I'm like, yeah, I actually called the cops on that place. I got it shut down. People laugh. KFC rep thinks I'm serious, and turns to me and asks me without irony, how did you get it shut down? And I had to be like, I was just joking that I was like a narc, like or whatever. I had to walk.
I think
it
I
back.
also said
No, this and then this happens, Mitch. Do you remember?
Well, I said, I was like, which came first, MedMen or Madman? I remember I said that.
You said which came first, MedMen or Madmen? Dead silence. And then there's just no way out because we're just bombing in front of an audience of one. We're just completely eating shit at this event for the KFC person
I
who
was
I guess
having a
probably
great time.
invited us.
Yeah.
Well, there's
it was
one that
fun
you
to
haven't got
watch.
to, and I think you're gonna say it.
What was the one I missed?
Well, even before all this happened, I was
Oh.
like, I said to the lady, I was like, okay, so tell me the truth. Why did you invite the Doughboys
Yes,
to
yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah.
And she
Oh,
looked,
yeah. She
and
said
she
we
looked at
Googled-
the woman who's like
The
working her, like,
KFC lady, her
yeah,
boss,
yeah.
basically.
And she was like, yeah, why did you invite me?
Yeah, she didn't know why we were invited.
And she
She
seemed like
was
it
like-
was a mistake.
She was like, because you're local, I
Yes,
guess.
yeah,
it sounded
you're
like they
local and you do fast
Googled-
food
Yeah, it
and
sounded
you
like they
review
Googled
KFC.
local fast food review.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, again, was
LA.
trying to be a joke.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to be serious, but it was just bombing left and right.
The MedMen thing after that, which felt like a lead balloon, I just was like, hey, thanks so much for having us. I didn't know how to end the interaction. It was just like, this is
I think that's what you
guess.
said
Yeah,
right
yeah.
afterwards.
It was also a small, tight patio, so it
Yes.
was like there was nowhere to even like slowly back out of the room. We were
Yes.
just like all right
We
here.
were all just trapped.
Well, we took a picture too.
We did
Yeah,
take
we
a
did.
picture.
We went back inside and we took a picture with every one of the people who were working at the Korean barbecue, at the honey sriracha.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
We took pictures with each of them, and we asked them. We were like, "Which one is your favorite?" Some of them,
Some of them, the one they were representing was not their actual favorite,
Yeah.
which was fun.
And then some guy went up to Mitch and said, hey, my name's so-and-so, WME.
it is true. It's true. We follow each other on Instagram. He came up to me. He's like, "Who's your
What's
reps right now?" And I
WME?
told him, he was
Is that
like,
like a,
He's like,
"You
yeah.
might want to change that at some point."
Yeah,
You're
he's
like,
like,
yeah.
I'm at WME.
Hey, I love him. He liked me. I
He's
like
gonna
the guy.
get you in the UFC ring.
I love it. Get me over to WME. I was a CAA man for a while. No, this means
Okay,
nothing
that
to
is-
anyone.
It would be really
You're just
funny
talking about Hollywood talent
if you were
agencies.
signed
Yeah.
to a talent agency at a KFC influencer.
Amelia just asked
would be
what
very funny.
WME was, and I said it was an agency, and then for a second I thought I was wrong, and it was like a wrestling thing.
No,
But it
no,
is an agency.
it's an agency.
Okay.
But they do have a stake in
WWE.
in combat
Oh,
sports
okay.
now. Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why.
Well,
I'm
here's what's
confused.
crazy. You know who I'm repped by now? KFC.
I thought you were
we
going to
have
say
to
The
delete
Undertaker.
Man, if Undertaker was my agent.
Yeah.
And then we walked out.
Well, then we walked
I
out. I
will
mean,
say-
is there anything else we missed about the actual
Oh, and then
event?
someone said, "Oh, nugs, like nuggets, like marijuana
yes,
nugs."
right,
I
like
said,
marijuana nugs.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we all went.
Also,
"Oh."
each station had a large tub filled to the brim of nuggets.
Glass jar.
Yeah.
A glass jar of nuggets, which again revolting to me. I don't know, like
It looked gross.
Yeah,
It was pretty
Especially when you
gross.
realize the center of the nuggets was a bunch of like balled up plastic stuff to fill space, and the nuggets were on the outside of that.
Yeah.
That grossed me out even further.
All the other stuff, I was like, "Is this real hot sauce?" Like, and they were like, "No, you idiot!" Like, they were
No.
trying to explain to me it was all
You
fake.
couldn't like touch any.
It
The-
looked nice, I'll say.
Yeah.
It was,
something
did?
about seeing food in like plastic and glass containers like that is
off-putting.
it's really off. It's like seeing. I don't know, like seeing like a fetus in a jar or something.
I agree.
Like that.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
yeah. It's kind of like seeing a fetus in a jar.
The other thing I was thinking about for Saturday when that was like open to the public, people must have waited in line to
For
go
sure.
through that, like
Oh,
for
yeah.
a long time. Which I would have, if I waited in line and then got in there and that's what that was, I would have been
Yeah.
like, that sucks.
I got to eat 10 room temperature nuggets. I would be
Yeah.
pretty disappointed.
I want to go back to the fact that Sus was still making people trying to break character on the way out.
Yeah.
Every
Why
single
not?
person you talked to, you were just like, so what's the real deal? I mean, you loved when one guy broke to us and was talking for a while.
I had some success with it because they just sort of hear them out, hear their whole pitch, and be like, oh, and play with them in character a little bit, and then be like, all right, what's the real deal?
Yeah, this guy just wanted to cut to the chase.
Yeah,
He didn't want to
yeah.
hear the bits.
Yeah.
We
Can't skip a
walked out
step.
of there, and then the fun started.
Then the fun started. We had
And
a
the party
walkover.
really got started.
I mean, this is what kind of saved the day. I mean, it was kind of fun to experience it and fun to have a
Yeah.
thing to talk about. But the actual
it
event, I think we
wasn't.
were like, kind of like whatever. It's Susser, you're right. I'm trying to make the best of it. It sucked.
We went to a nice tiki bar.
We
We had
walked
This
over
part
to-
was good. This part started being
this
good.
was the reason we didn't actually turn
Yeah.
the car around.
We had a lovely little like 15-minute walk over
Yeah.
to
Great,
the
beautiful
beach.
day.
We went to Bell's Beach House, which is a modern tiki bar in Venice. So it's not
a little
the tiki
too
experience.
a little too cool.
Exactly.
But still, it was fun.
It was still fun. It's not the tiki experience you actually want. You want the actual tiki bar. You
Yeah.
don't want the gentrified,
I
like
don't
I don't
sanitized
remember what the
tiki
guy at
bar.
the door looked, but I remember being like, I like the look of this guy.
Yeah, he had a good look.
Great
He
looking
had a
guy.
mustache.
Oh, mustache. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was like a real like, and then there was a whole thing like, oh, we can get you in this table, but you got to be done by 5:30. But it didn't matter.
Didn't
Didn't
matter.
matter. They
Is
forgot
that
our
the same
food
guy
at
who
one
thought
point.
Amelia and I were not with you guys? He like cut
Yes.
us off and
Oh,
was
maybe.
like,
Oh,
"Do you
that's
need a table?"
funny.
And we were like, "We're with them." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And we were like, "What?"
Those
Got
three
some
fat guys, or
food.
was
Yeah.
Did you think they asked for a table for 6 just for the 3 of them?
Yeah, those are our 3 dads.
I got some great drinks.
I got a Mai Tai.
Yeah.
Those slushy drinks were great.
Slushy
The
drinks
Peanut
were
food
butter
fun.
was good.
Yeah.
Food was good.
So we had a whole thing where we had one server and then that server's shift ended and we had
Yeah.
another server who took over. Some of the food that was supposed to come out went to a different table. The other table
Did not mention
say
it.
this isn't for us. They just
took
ate
it.
it. And so we were waiting for like an extra 20-30 minutes for our food. And the guy salvaged it and brought them out to us, ended up charging that other table for it. But it
Good.
was like it was one of those things where it was like kind of like a little bit harried, but I thought that server was awesome. And he gave us
He
some
was
free
great.
slushies
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah.
He was great.
Great. He's a great.
Give us
dude.
a little slushy shots.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We also weren't eating like meals. It was more like snacky shared food. So like it
Sushi.
wasn't like
Yeah.
we were sitting like one person had food and one person didn't. It was just like,
It's a lot of
hey,
fun.
whatever you
I mean, the
guys
food
think.
was-
Very cool.
Blast.
the food was so much
Food was-
better.
Yeah, it was so much better.
I went to I told you guys I was going to the bathroom. I actually went to Muscle Beach and I pumped out a few rounds.
Good for you.
Yeah, you fucking pumped out a few rounds.
I didn't
bet.
jack off.
I didn't know
I
they
didn't
had a
jack
shower.
off.
That guy.
I didn't know they had a shower at that restaurant.
Into the beach shower, Mitch? Come on.
A shower's a shower, my man.
He doesn't turn it on anyways. Doesn't matter.
I didn't jack off at Muscle Beach, to be fair. But we ate the food there.
Yeah.
It was good. We walked back. We joked about going back to the KFC thing or the bar next to it, which had a good bar smell. I was
Yeah.
It
saying.
did have a good like
And-
divey smell.
Yeah, but we decided to go get more food just to look at the food.
This
Well,
is-
first we went into a clothing store.
Oh, that's true. Actually, wait, I
Wags
have
bought
it.
a sweatshirt.
You
I was
brought
so
it?
because it was like a chilly day and I didn't bring a top layer and I was just like I don't know how much longer we're gonna be here,
It
so
was
I
like
got a hoodie.
67 degrees,
I
I
honestly
believe.
kind of regret not buying one of those hoodies because they felt so nice and thin. I think I might go online and get one because it seemed like the perfect LA hoodie.
Aviation
Hell yeah,
Nation, a very
Aviation
cool-
Nation.
We thought the
Cool
mannequin
store. I'd
outside was
actually-
Weiger, and
Oh,
then
we should've
then we
taken a
looked
picture
down
of
and
it. Oh, yeah.
Weiger was actually there.
We thought the little
To be
model
fair,
thing was Weiger.
Weiger bought the hoodie the mannequin what we thought was
Weiger,
him
were
was
you
wearing.
familiar with Aviation Nation before?
I bought one like hoodie from there before.
Because
So
the
like
style is very up your alley.
it's
I
very
feel
it's
like.
very like
SoCal Beach.
SoCal, very much so. And yeah, so I'm wearing the hoodie now. It's a nice little purple hoodie. It's the perfect thinness, which I really like.
Yeah.
It's like really
That's why I
comfortable.
kind of regret not getting it. It's like the perfect LA hoodie.
Yeah.
My thought is that we should have
By the way, just,
left with the mannequin. More fun.
They were dressed exactly the same. So
They really. I mean, it was we very much thought it was you in the window
Yes.
as a mannequin.
I mean, being mistaken for a mannequin is just so it's extremely on brand for me. So
There's a woman at Echo Park like the other day I was walking
Yeah.
Jemmy and she was standing so perfectly still, and like she just looked like she had like a very like angled face. I genuinely thought it was a mannequin. Like I thought someone was setting up to sell clothes, and I was like staring at her for a second, and then she moved, and I was like, oh my god, it's a person.
Was it
Very off-putting.
Was it a street performer or was it just an individual?
No, it was just she was just taking in the sights. I think.
Wow.
That must be a weird thing
It
for a
was a little
person on the
odd.
street to just hear you be like, "Oh my god, it's a person." You're like, "Yeah." What the fuck?
I don't know if I said it out loud. Maybe I said it to Jemmy. She was chasing the geese.
We should talk about
That's
before we get to Atlantico Sandwich Shop.
Mhm.
On the walk back, there was an older woman who had fallen down.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
we walked by her, and her friend was helping her up. But we
I
just
stepped,
like,
Like it
I
was
stepped
baby
over
back.
her.
Yeah, you
To be
did.
clear,
But it looked like
They
it was.
said, get out of my way.
It looked like she was maybe. It looked like she was maybe injured. So we just went up and was like, "Hey, is everything okay?"
was I not here for this? Really?
You were-
We were
actually
a couple
you were behind
steps
us.
behind.
Oh,
So me and Emma and Mike were walking up, and we walked up to this woman and said, "Hey, is everything okay?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm just a dumbass."
Yeah.
That's
So there's a
good.
great old lady.
Okay. I actually trust that you're okay now.
Yeah.
I saw some freaky shit. There was a guy making out with his girlfriend's ear. I don't know if you
Yes.
guys saw
Oh yeah, I
that.
missed that. You texted about that. That there was some ear licking
There
going
was
on.
a
with
fucking
her.
making out with her
In
ear.
where?
Weird horny
It was
shit. You don't wanna see
across the
that.
street from there. It was actually when we were going there.
Oh.
Very
And
Venice,
then when
I
I was
guess.
leaving, there was someone asleep in their car, and their bare feet were up on their dashboard.
Yeah, weird.
So I had to stop and jerk there for a second.
You sent that picture to the group chat and said, "What is happening in this car?" And Weiger just immediately responded, "I'm sucking that guy off."
What?
And I said, "Yeah, this is my job."
So this is my favorite thing from the two of you is that we went to Al Antico Sandwich Shop, and you already said this. You guys, you said we're just going to look.
You're not going to look. Huge shop, not much to look at. though.
Yeah.
Just look at the sandwiches.
We're just going to look at the sandwiches.
Look at the sandwiches we bought to eat.
And
And then Susser brings his sandwiches into the bathroom with him.
Oh yeah, what the hell was
I
that?
just had to inspect them.
That I will say, so I offered to hold your sandwiches when you went into the bathroom. You're like, "No, I'm good," and the subtext was that you didn't trust me with your sandwiches.
Yeah, that you're gonna eat them.
I got the so this is the place I went to when I was in Venice.
Yes.
It's now there's one in New York and there's one here, and then we all got sandwiches for
That we took
later.
home.
We
Yeah,
got them
for
for
later.
later.
Yeah.
And,
I wasn't in my car scarfing it down immediately after saying goodbye.
And one for your wife. You bought your own sandwiches. I'm kind of shocked by that actually. I got the Paradiso, which is an
I also
interesting,
got the Paradiso.
which is had like a crema, and what was the cheese
was
on there?
Oh, it was stracciatella cheese,
That's what it
and
was.
then it had a pistachio butter.
It was. What did you
That
think
was-
of it?
I liked it. I ended up having to scrape the pistachio butter off. I ate half of it, and then it was becoming the texture of it was too much for me. It was too.
It seemed too much like peanut butter.
You also
almost,
said
right?
texted the that it seemed too much like peanut butter before I ate it. So I don't know if I had that in my head,
Yeah.
but it was an odd texture. I ended up scraping it out and just having cheese and mortadella, which I fucking love mortadella, so I would eat that.
It was
the
still
sandwich was fantastic.
It was still a good sandwich,
It
but
was.
it was.
I think it was just unevenly spread. First of all, the bread was so big. It's a
Yeah.
big square sandwich. And I think it was just there was a pocket where all the butter was, and it was
Yeah.
thin everywhere else, but then I got to that pocket and I was too much.
Yeah, you
gotta
kind of
go,
nailed
gotta
it.
go.
It was a very. Mine was very
one,
peanut
one
butter.
thing about the sandwich place is the guy making the sandwiches was clearly Italian from Italy.
Mm.
Oh wow.
It kind of felt like some of the other people were
Yeah.
we gotta eat it at the sandwich shop. I was like, wait, what?
You asked that when we left. You're do you think they're all Italian or putting it on?
Sussed it
The
up.
one guy definitely was,
Yeah.
but
did
I don't know
same
about the
thing.
rest.
So you guys work for the sandwich shop?
Yeah.
Right here, you can see.
He's still in that mode. He didn't believe
I don't
anyone.
like being fooled.
Where
Speaking of being
it
fooled-
is a sandwich shop from Italy.
Speaking
so.
of being fooled, you also didn't say when you walked me to my car afterwards. What happened?
This is of the whole day being weird.
Uh-huh.
I said, Sus, I was like, I'll walk with you to your car. And he said, okay. I walked to his car. I get there. He says, let me get $1. I say, okay. I give him $1. He takes a pen. He puts the pen through the $1.
Wow.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he shows that he actually didn't put the pen through the $1. It was a magic trick.
What?
You were showing me magic tricks.
You did magic?
And then he
did.
said, hold on. And then he got out a deck of cards. This is true. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And he was
You
like,
missed the show.
He said, pick a card. I picked this card, and then it was like, and you can explain the magic trick.
I think it said it's like a card predictor.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, okay, pick the card, and you picked whatever card you picked.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, look at the card predictor, and I said, you do not have the 8 of clubs,
Mm-hmm.
and not so overwhelming. And then I said, well, but if you would have picked any other card in the deck, this would have been wrong, and the whole deck was 8 of
It's
clubs,
8 of
except for the
clubs.
one that
Wow.
he picked.
He was also sloppily doing this over the hood of his car, I should say. And like, it was, I mean, I was like, wow, those are like, I mean, he showed me how one of them worked.
No, I didn't. Don't get me in
Oh,
trouble.
sorry.
Gonna get canceled.
Busted.
How did you learn these tricks, or when did you learn these tricks?
You know, I
The magician shop is calling.
Yeah,
Oh,
the magician
out.
shop.
Right, you gotta get out of
I
here.
went to a magic shop by my house. I went with my daughter, and then the next day I was like, oh, I want to get some stuff for me. So I went back and got some stuff for me, and I just had them in my car.
It's funny because you made those the saucy nugs disappear pretty easy in the, in the dispensary. And then I said, oh, wow. I was like, this is cool. Thanks for the magic tricks. I got my $1 back. And then he was like, come on, I'll walk you to your car. So we walked back to my car. And then
That's
and
nice.
it was a nice little
Nice
walk.
to get some extra
Yeah.
steps in.
Yeah,
And
we were getting some steps together.
the steps back to the tiki bar and back, like that in and of itself may have just salvaged the whole day. But we had a
Yeah.
nice time at the
Just
tiki
the walk.
bar too. Yeah, but the walk was great.
Great walk.
Yeah. Overall, bad day.
Yeah, it was a huge waste
Oh
of
yeah,
everyone's
Not for
time.
me.
it took me an hour to get there. and
Yeah.
like an hour and
Yeah.
15
Good
minutes to
day,
get back.
bad.
Yeah, we stayed longer just to
Try to avoid
yeah.
traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, not a bad day. There's
Amelia
been worse
and I all
days.
drove together,
Worked
so
out.
we
Yeah,
were
we
just hanging in
carpooled.
the car.
Yeah, I had a
fine.
blast.
There's been
Good
worse
time.
days. I mean, my dad has died. My
Sure.
childhood pets have died.
9/11.
9/11's pretty
Pretty
bad.
bad.
Twice
Pretty
a week
bad
I have
day.
to record this stupid podcast.
That's also true. That's up there with the rest of the bad days. So overall, not that bad
Not
of a
that
day.
bad.
I think that the
I had a
the-
great
Please
time.
invite Doughboys to any future influencer events.
Yeah, we'll plug the shit out of it. To be honest, when we get those emails, I pretty much almost assume I should just immediately respond and be like, "No, we're not coming." But this one,
Yeah,
when you guys both were like, "I could do that," I was like, "Damn!" They
I
said
sent
yes.
it to the group fully not expecting even a response, and it just so happened that everyone was
out.
available.
a nice teamworking event, I'd
Yeah.
say.
One of the texts Mitch sent to the group chat day of was, I didn't know why we said to do this. Because I think we both were like, why did we both agree to this?
Yeah, I think we
what
were like
happened
maybe
was
trying to blame
everyone
each
was
other,
like-
and there was
Yeah.
no reason.
I think
Yeah.
everyone said like, I technically could do this.
And so we
Yeah.
just were like, all right, sure.
Fuck it, why not?
When you said you were sucking that guy in the car, wasn't there a run of that? Weren't we talking about sucking people off?
We're talking out of school a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't think you want to say it here.
We were talking. Okay, yeah, that's right. Oh, right. Oh, I forgot.
Talking about some other people.
We were
sucking some
talking
other
about a
people
guy who
off.
asked me to suck
Oh,
him
yeah.
off at
Yeah,
one
yeah,
point.
yeah. There was
Yeah,
a-
yeah.
Oh,
the whole
yeah.
thing. We don't need to get into it.
The Colonel.
Yeah, it was a callback. Anything else? I mean, like, Susser, you got to get out of here. Any final thoughts? Any plugs?
Not this. Don't go to it. I think it's over. But it was
Yeah,
bad.
it's over.
But so's a lot of stuff.
It's true.
I wanted to give a shout out to Natalie. You did a great job.
Yeah. I also want to give a shout out to Natalie. Keep up the good work, my wife.
I was gonna shout out his wife, but he did it.
She's watching this and she doesn't know that your actual wife is named Natalie, and she's just so confused.
Like, what the fuck? That weird guy
I
wants
love
to
you,
marry me?
Natalie.
But
I'll see you at
it was
home,
good
Natalie.
To see all of you guys. It was good to be in Venice.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun.
To explore
Yeah,
a great
it was-
city of
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
Like,
Why
you live in the valley like me. You don't get out to Venice. It
Yeah.
feels like
Yeah.
you went like on a vacation.
it did kind of suck that we were around great restaurants.
There's
Yeah.
so much great
Yeah.
stuff there, and
Yeah.
we just didn't have quite the time to hit up something that was a little bit more.
Here's an idea.
Notable.
Mussel, Mussel
Mhm.
Beach.
It's really fun.
Ooh, eat
I'm
some
fucking-
Go down
mussels.
there, eat some mussels, pump some
Pump,
iron.
I was gonna say pump out a few.
Dear Lord.
Weiger did say we have spent more time together in Quincy, Massachusetts than we have on the west side of LA.
That is
It's true.
probably
which
true.
is
Absolutely
pretty
true.
I think.
That is true. Well, you slept over there. I'll come sleep over.
Sleep over at my place?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Weiger did say we could go by his house to see the outside of it if we wanted.
Oh yeah,
did,
this
yeah.
is also so. Weiger, you like Ubered there?
I was gonna. I took the bus home. I was gonna take the bus there, but they gave us $100 Uber voucher.
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah.
talk
that was
about the
going to-
Well,
voucher.
It was
regardless.
time limited. I was like, I got to use this
The
thing.
time limited thing fucked me up a little bit, but I did use it to Uber to the Gabrus 420 Live Mega Sesh, and I tipped my driver 100%.
That was fun.
That's
I just gave my
perfect.
driver a huge tip.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, you know what? Like, the traffic's gonna be horrible. Where like, I'll drive you to your place.
Yeah.
Like, it's really no big deal. I said, nope, I'm good.
Yeah.
All right.
It was nice of you to offer, but it would have taken you out of your way.
You
And I
know
also
I see it.
I wanted to take the bus.
He likes
Yeah.
the bus.
I didn't get to use my hair
didn't
appointment
use
was too early, so I couldn't use it, and then I didn't use it the next day, so
And then
I
I
didn't get to use
spent
it.
4 hours trying to figure
we
out how to
didn't talk about
transfer it to Uber Eats.
Yeah, we
It
tried
didn't
really
work.
hard to
Yeah.
get that credit to order some
I was on
food.
like Reddit and like, you know, I hired like a hacker from, you know,
Weiger said
Russia.
Yeah, it was like he was being a Danny Ocean with
Yeah.
the fucking Uber
Weiger said he
code.
spent more time trying to figure out the Uber Postmates situation than all of Munch Madness.
It didn't work.
Didn't work. Nope.
A noble effort. Amelia, Emma, anything to plug?
I'll plug our video editor Mike's channel, the Baker Filmmaker,
Oh yeah,
on
Baker Filmmaker.
on YouTube and all social media.
Yeah. It's
Or
cool to hang
me,
out with
Emma
Mike.
Tree. Yeah, Mike's a cool dude. He's elusive. He doesn't come out often.
We're gonna have Mike on the Doughboys double soon. We're gonna talk bread.
I
so.
asked him to come
I
do this
can't wait.
episode when we were going to do it 2 days ago, and he was very vague about whether or not he wanted to come. He said, "I won't say nice things. I probably shouldn't."
We'll
he
get him
would've
on
been
to talk
right
bread.
And
there
I
with the
said,
rest of
"That's
us."
fine. Come shit on
Yeah.
it with us." But
His
you know,
bread-
it worked out. He wouldn't have fit.
His bread was fantastic.
Oh,
by the
Man,
way.
he gave us a
man.
sourdough
Really
loaf
good bread.
recently. That was so.
I was eating it
clutch.
with butter and
Yeah, me too.
and salt on there. I think you gave me that idea to salt it up a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah, it was pretty
Fantastic.
He just made homemade Hawaiian rolls because he was a big
Wow.
Hawaiian roll kid
Ooh.
as a kid, and I have discovered Hawaiian rolls as an adult, and I love them.
Mhm.
And he's discovered how to make them at home,
That
and
is
they're
exciting.
so good.
Let me just say this. Look, let's be real here. I'm going to be gone for 5 months, Wags. I don't
That's
think
right.
we've addressed this on the pod
Yes.
yet.
No,
But we're doubling up podcast. You know what?
the Frank
It was a
Baked
nice outing, and
Bowl.
I'm not going to see all of you for a long time. It's nice to
Yeah,
get it in
I
before I
know.
go.
It's
Well,
fun.
maybe we should do another outing that's not KFC
Yeah.
nuggets. We'll just go to like. Okay, fine. No, I'll
think
go
we're
by
done.
myself. I'll just take myself to dinner on the Doughboys. That's
there
fine.
you go.
Yeah, Buca de Beppo has their new sludge raviolis they want us to taste. We're in the sludge raviolis event.
Dang.
Casey, you in?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right,
Switch it
great.
up.
Amelia, any plugs?
You know, Skidmark on Letterboxd, Skidmark4 on Instagram. Nothing else to plug at the moment. Yeah.
There you go. Hey, that's this week's Doughboys double. What do y'all say we go up, hit up that KFC dispensary and get some saucy nuggets?
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Doughboys Media.